Mommy's TV.
Turn the microphone on Mommy's TV, baby. We're about to make it trending. Trending, trending. Trending with another time. You know what it is?
It's trending, baby.
Don't touch it, don't switch it. Stay at home. It's trending.
It's trending, baby. It's Mommy's TV.
Turn the microphone on Mommy's TV, baby. We're about to make it trending. Trending, trending. Trending with another time. You know what it is?
It's trending, baby.
Don't touch it, don't switch it. Stay at home. It's trending.
It's trending, baby. And we are trending.
Hey.
As you all can see, I am the co-host, Tani, and I got a co-host today, Mrs. Christina Oakmore. Aladdin should be en route. We had us a good late night last night
Yes,
at the
we did.
Ankara Festival. Shout out to Overcome Media Victoria. It was a wonderful,
Well put on event.
Oh my goodness,
Well.
we had so much fun, but baby, we couldn't hang. I said one thing about my people,
Sorry.
especially my Yoruba people. Yoruba, they party for Africa.
No be
And-
small party.
No be small party.
Last night.
Woo! It was so fun, but it got to be about 2:00. We was like, "Hey, we got."
Y'all know I go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. So we had a great time. Shout out to the Ankara Festival Victoria with Overcome.
All
Media.
the organizers,
All the
great. They treated
yes.
us so well.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
So much love.
VIP
here.
treatment. It was
VIP.
all the way.
Oh, it was just wonderful. So today, while we waiting on Aladdin, if he show up, we're gonna go ahead and get the party started.
Let's do it.
So this is trending with Aladdin and Tani, but today it's Tani and Christina.
What?
So I want to talk about, first of all, I want to introduce my co-host today because this is my good friend, my sister. We go back like a Cadillac, but she is also the founder and CEO of Nigel Wives Inc., which is very important to this show because this is a multicultural show. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what you do, Nigel Wives Inc., and then we're going to go from there.
All right, I'm Christine Oakport. I am, like Tani said, the founder of Nigel Wives Incorporated. We are a nonprofit organization for American women married to Nigerian men. Let me say that again. We are a nonprofit specifically targeting American women who are engaged or married to Nigerian men. And what do? We teach about the culture. We talk about cultural appreciation.
Yes.
And we talk about just providing resources for the wives as they assimilate into the culture. And thank you. As a
small thing.
it's not small. There's a lot that goes into being in a cross-cultural marriage, and our whole goal is to change the narrative. And so that's a little bit what we're going to talk about today, according to Tani. We're going to talk about changing that narrative, but so yeah, we strive to provide resources for our wives to help them emerge into the culture, as well as to overcome some of the downsides that can typically come with cross-cultural marriage.
Because it's two different cultures. I always say we look the same. Most of us, even though we might be the same color, African American, or as Nigerians say, Black Americans, with the Nigerian culture, we look the same. We're the same color, but this is two completely different cultures.
It is.
And if you're not open-minded on both ends, it can cause problems.
Lots of problems.
It can cause lots of problems. And the title today that we're talking about, different cultural stereotypes that we noticed, both of us being married into the culture for several years on both sides. That's something that I noticed right away, and I hate it. I hate it so much. And so I've made it a personal mission of mine to try to, as much as I can, destroy those stereotypes.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, we are the same people separated by time. Can't nobody tell me that these people right here, are not from somewhere over there, because we have too many of the same mannerisms. First of all,
let's talk about that.
Let's talk about the similarities between Black Americans and Nigerians specifically, because that's the culture we married into.
Yeah.
First of all, what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna let you talk, because Christina actually lived in Lagos for 2 years, y'all. She actually lived there, and she goes back and forth, and we're actually leaving in just a little bit, going to Nigeria. We're
culturally emerging. I don't know if she's ready. She thinks she's ready. This is gonna be her first trip. So I'll take it easy on her, but I would like to know what y'all think as we talk about today. What y'all think she should be prepared for? That's gonna be interesting.
First time, she's always there. Like, she's been, I can't even count how many times you go, even a year. But this is my first time, and I'm like, I don't know what to expect. I just know I'm gonna have a camera crew follow me because I'm extra like that. But okay, so the first thing let's talk about the similarities first. The first thing I noticed is that, why are we all loud? Like, Black Americans and Nigerians, we are so loud in a group setting.
I don't know. We were talking about that last night when we were coming out of the event, like all the people in the parking lot. And I was like, it's louder out here than it was inside. And I was like,
we loud.
We just loud.
It's just, I guess it's just Black people gonna be Black no matter what country.
I guess. Maybe come from, I don't know. It's loud in Nigeria. Lagos is loud. Between generators and horns and... You gotta speak up.
You said between the generators and
the you gotta use your preacher voice. You gotta
I know that's
project. Because let me tell you something. Nobody
my
hear you.
goodness. Okay, so what did you notice? What were some of the similarities? Because you actually lived there. So what was some of the similarities that you noticed?
Time management was probably the one that stuck out the most.
She said time management.
Or our lack thereof of time management. You know, here we say color people time.
Yes,
there
time.
African people time. And you know, I'm a very prompt person, so I always be there on time, and I be upset with staff when they're not there, and I'm like, why aren't y'all here on time? And they be like,
African time.
Madam, it never reached to that level. Calm down. Calm down. You know, I'm like, okay, I'll calm down. I'll calm down a little bit. So I had to learn to chill out.
With the African time.
And get on African time. And now I'd be like, oh, it started at 8. Okay, we'll show up at 11.
11. Like we did last night, because I learned my lesson. Because color people time, like I said, color people time, we be behind.
Yeah.
But color people time ain't got nothing from the motherland. Because, baby, African time, my first traditional wedding. Because it's a traditional wedding, right? So I'm in the wedding. I'm Ashby. So it starts at 7. So I'm there 6:30, you know, because to me, being on time is late. So I'm there at 6:30.
Oh, yeah, I grew up in a military household. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late, and late is unacceptable.
Girl, so I show up at the venue, baby, the it ain't even set up. So I'm taking my heels off. I'm helping set up the tables because nothing is set up. The bride did not even get there until 11 o'clock.
Oh, well, let's talk about how late I was to my own wedding.
Okay, let's talk about your traditional wedding.
But it was... I did an American wedding. I did a white wedding.
Okay.
But I was late. I was super late.
Were you to your own
I don't know. They was calling. It was probably like almost 2 hours.
Really?
But let's talk about how late my mother-in-law was.
Okay, your mother-in-law.
Yeah. So we were kind of delaying waiting on her, so I just put it on that. We were waiting on her to show up and make her entrance.
Oh, Father God, Father God. That's African time. So that's a similarity that I noticed, and I just think it's so funny because just sitting back, being intertwined with the culture, it's just hilarious to me. And we're gonna move on to the next subject, but I just had to say this one thing: Black mamas and Black American mamas and African mamas. It's one thing, a saying that I heard an African mama say, and she said, "Am I your mate?"
Oh,
and that's our version of I'm not
your
one of your little friends.
I'm not one of your little friends.
I said, how do we say the same stuff in different, just different? I said,
but you understood it, right? As soon as she said it, like,
I ain't one of your little friends.
I ain't one of your little friends.
Your age
Don't try me. Don't be so familiar. Oh, and greeting. That's another similarity.
Oh, you better speak.
Yeah, you don't speak. Did I sleep with you last night? I know my mom used to say that just all the time. We walk in the room, you don't greet, say good morning. Did I sleep with you last night? It took me years to figure out what that even meant. But I knew I needed to greet.
That's right. You speak when you walking through that door. That's what we said. We call it speak. You got to speak.
Greet everybody, you know.
So that's some of the similarities that I noticed, and I just thought it was so funny because I'm like, how are we two different continents? But I said it ain't no way we not from there because it's two. We moved to. It's the same people, just the time difference. It's so funny. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
So yeah, we want y'all to, if you have any questions about the culture, about Naija Wives Inc., we're going to get into this topic while we're waiting on Aladdin if he shows up today.
This is the takeover.
This is the takeover.
Naija Wives taking over.
Naija Wives Inc. takeover. So if you have any questions or anything that you want to say, because at the end of the day, this is a multicultural show, and we give this platform as a safe space to be a bridge between the two cultures, because we shouldn't be separated.
We really shouldn't, and that's one thing I really love about this show in particular and our relationship. You know, we built it on helping each other understand the cultural things we have to go through with the immersion of the two cultures, and you know, and just assimilating into the culture and helping, you know, our husbands assimilate into the culture.
That's because for them too.
Yeah, no matter how many years he's been here, once he marries into the American culture, wherever that may be, and we can talk a little bit about that and how, you know, how Americans believe Nigerians focus too much on the culture, and how Nigerians think Americans don't have culture. So when in reality we have culture, it's just geographical culture. You know, I was raised in the South, so my culture is different than somebody who was raised in the North. And so it's not that we don't have culture, and we can talk about that. You know, about it's not that we don't have culture, it's just that the Nigerian community needs to understand how our culture works. We don't have tribes. I'm from the South Side. I'm from the West Side. I'm from
Florida.
Yeah, I'm from Florida.
I'm from Texas. It's two completely different cultures. We talk different. The slang is different. We cook different. It's different music. The same thing as the different tribes, but separate. We just don't say we have tribes.
Right. Y'all have Pidgin English. We have Ebonics.
That's right. Come on now. And I always say that. I said Pidgin English is just their version of Ebonics and vice versa.
Exactly.
So speaking of that, okay, let me give out the number. If you have something to say, if you want to pop in, if you want to chime in, because since I started Naija Wife Kitchen in Oklahoma City, I've had several wives, Naija wives, come to me saying that they don't know how to cook the food and they just need a safe place to vent, because it's, you know, it's
Girl,
different.
Come to Naija Wives.
Come
we will
to
show
Naija
you.
Wives. So if you want to come and call in and have something to say about this topic or just have your input, the studio line is 817-717-5685. Again, it's 817-717-5685. We want to hear your input, whether you are American or Nigerian.
Remember, it's a safe space. And that's one thing we preach in Naija Wives. And I say preach. I'm churchy, y'all. Forgive me.
She is very churchy.
But that's one thing we talk about, is having that safe space, and how you need to have that space where there is no judgment, there is no drama, there is none of that. Like, there are no stupid questions, because we're all learning. I learn every day. I immerse myself into the culture. I like to say I borrowed the culture. It's a borrowed culture for me, but I can chameleon. I have learned to code switch so well that it helps me when I'm trying to learn the culture, and people are more open to sharing with me, and I'm open to sharing with the wives, and I learn from as many of the wives as I can. I ask questions. I'm not afraid to ask questions, and so you shouldn't be either. So call in 817-717-5685. And let's hear your question. So we want to talk about, something fun before we go into anything else. I want you, because this I can understand Pidgin English fluently, and I can speak enough to where you can understand me, but she speaks Pidgin fluently, so I want her to give us a live tutorial about Pidgin English. So for my American people, Pidgin English, like I said, is the Ebonics of the Nigerian language, because West Africa.
Because it's different countries have different Pidgin.
Well, even in Nigeria, I've learned that there's different pidgin, different dialects of pidgin.
Yes.
When I went to Warri, I was like,
that's what I was about to say. My brother-in-law is from Warri, and his
Warri got its own language.
It's different.
They say Warri no they carry last though, but let me tell you, I think it's the pidgin that really, does it for them.
But their pidgin is different.
Yeah. So in order to survive in Nigeria, when I first got to Nigeria, story time, story. Okay. When I first got to Nigeria, I'm from Florida, so I talk fast.
Florida, baby.
I'm from Florida, from Duval County, Jacksonville.
country,
right? And I talk fast and country. And I was speaking English, and nobody could understand what I was saying.
Not a soul.
And my house girl only spoke Yoruba, French, and Pidgin English. So we had a communication barrier.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, what am I going to do? First, I had to learn to slow down. So the first thing, I had my assistant, she was like, you got to learn Pidgin English. And I was like, huh? What's that? And she was like, okay, the first thing you need to know is how to greet somebody. So you say, how far?
How far now?
She adding on. This
a
lesson.
Okay. We're gonna start over.
It's a lesson. Okay. So how far?
How far?
Mm-hmm. And what's your response? Since you already know the response, you can give it. If I ask you, I day. Right. So how far? So that's HOWFAR. How far? Right. Like, okay, if I were gonna explain it in English, you'd be like, so how far? How is your? I can't use the word to say. How is your day going? Yeah. Like, how are you doing? Right? It's just a general greeting. It's like we say, "What's up? What's good?" Right? In Ebonics, we would say, "What's good?" So, and the response is "I day." Now, that day, that DEY, can be so many. It means so many things. That word, you're gonna hear it a lot, so you can't be like, "Oh, okay." It's just a general response. I day, I'm good. I'm Gucci, right? And we switched to Ebonics. I'm Gucci. So what it is it's code. What that's called is it's code switching, right? And I know in the African American community, we often feel obligated to code switch. You probably do it at work. How you answer the phone? Good afternoon. Yes. Thank you for calling. Right? You drop your voice. You get a higher intonation and kind of you become more proper and it's really so that people can understand you. It's not because I want to be white or I want to speak like them people, right? Like them people. Like that's like who are them people? But anyway, so first greeting, how far? I day, right? So. If you want to ask somebody, have you eaten? Well, how do you say it?
Oh, I don't know. I told her I can speak enough. I can understand everything.
You don't chop.
Yeah, you don't chop. Yes, you don't chop. And that can be used.
So chop is to eat, right?
Yes, chop is to eat, or it can be used another way.
Okay, what's the other way?
I don't chop all my money.
Yeah, they chop my money. So what you ate?
I spend all my money. Ate my money up.
You ate your money up. Sorry. And so in Ebonics. So since we doing it on both sides, right? We talking American culture and we talking Nigerian culture. So specifically today, we're gonna talk Black American culture because we have a lot of our Caucasian sisters that are married to Nigerians, and they are killing it.
Cooking, speaking, pidgin.
Listen, when we do our Niger Food Fridays, one of the ladies that teaches in Niger Wives,
she white,
is a white lady,
and she be
killing it.
Yep, she sure do.
Jade, I'm giving shout out Jade.
Hey girl, she be watching the show sometimes. Yeah.
Her and her sister.
Hey.
Both of them married to Nigerians.
We got comments.
We got comments.
Beautiful ladies.
Thank you, Latasha. Oh, Latasha holds it down. Listen, if y'all ready to join Niger Wives, Latasha gonna hold you down.
Oh, that's Latasha.
She's Tanisha. We are loud. Tanisha's a Niger wife. Represent, come through.
Ola, that's my tailor. Ola, you will love it there. I tell you, prepare.
Oh, okay, yeah, we gonna get into that.
That's my tailor, y'all. Last night that dress, she made that dress, honey. Yeah. So, oh my God,
it was beautiful,
hey,
Ola.
Ladies. Hey.
Yes, Ministry. See all the Niger wives coming through, confirming that Miss J throws it down in the kitchen.
She be throwing down.
But yeah, so come chop, right?
Come chop.
Chop. All right. See, let's see what else.
Can we talk about, and I know this is bad, but I'll be laughing, the insults, because I'll be cracking up. I'm sorry, because black people, we play too much. Like I said, we the same on every country. Like we got to talk about bad, you know, and it might not even be
What?
in just a,
like-
just a very offensive way. But why we got to be talking about each other? Like, okay,
What? Like,
you that
what?
crazy.
I knew you was gonna say that. You that crazy? You that mad?
You that mad?
Let me tell you something. If you driving in Lagos traffic, that is the best place to get insulted.
Oh my!
But it's so funny. Like they can
100%.
cuss you out left, right, center. But if they're saying it in pidgin English,
You ain't gonna
it's
know.
funny. You're not even.
You
I'm like,
don't know.
I don't even get offended when people cuss me out and
Right.
insult me in Yoruba or pidgin. I don't even understand Yoruba, but I know when somebody's insulting me. You know. But I guess I don't have no thick skin because first of all, I don't really care.
Yeah, she
Right?
don't care.
You're not gonna move me either way it go.
It'd be funny,
But
though,
yeah, it is funny. So I need some of our Nigerian listeners to come and tell us some more pidgin English words.
Yeah,
See, because
please.
it's easy to have conversation for me.
Yes.
And I butcher pidgin English, but
Oh,
I think
do
they
you?
I think they just overlooked me because I'm
Oh.
trying, and that's one thing I love about Nigerian culture. As long as you trying,
That's it.
they gonna support you,
Mm-hmm.
right? As long as if they see that you have an interest in learning
That's
anything
right.
in the culture, they're gonna show you.
That's
Like they're
right.
gonna stop what they doing, make sure you have a full understanding of what you're trying to do.
That's right.
And I really appreciate that, especially when I went to Nigeria the first time, because
Mm-hmm.
going to Nigeria is a culture shock. Like coming from here.
Really? I can't
You think
wait.
you're ready. You watched every Nollywood movie that's ever come out, right?
going.
Your TV stay on Irako TV.
That's
you
me.
you watching all of Jennifer's
Yoruba
Diary. You girl, stay off them village. It's not gonna be like them village movies.
I love my Yoruba land. And that's
Listen,
what I
even
think
if
it's
we
gonna
go
be
to the
like.
village, it's not gonna be like.
Okay.
Okay, think about village is our version of going to the country, right?
Oh,
So if you
okay.
go to Nana and them house, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Right? You know,
I
because
still wanna
see, I'm
go.
from Webster, Florida, right? You don't even know where that's at on the
No,
map.
I
So I
never
want y'all to
heard
Google
of
that,
it.
Webster, Florida.
No
Like,
lie.
right,
It's a
right.
culture
That's my
shock.
village,
Okay.
right? That's our village. So when mama and them say we going down home, we going home.
That's our version of our village.
Right, we're going to the village.
And
So
mine
we
would
go
be Farmers
for
Day,
holidays.
Texas.
You know, every Christmas. I remember growing up every year, second weekend, we down there for the family Christmas party.
Yeah. Right.
You know, even my son now, he only went down once, but now he going next week, and he like, I want to ride the horses, I want to see the cows. So, it's the same thing. It's village life.
Oh, this is so
You ready?
exciting.
You think you ready?
I'm excited to go. It's still surreal to me because I just can't. This one out of all people, she said, "You going to Nigeria?" And I'm like, "I'm not going. I don't know." This was like 2 years ago, and I never thought I was going, but I've been having my passport, and now we'll be leaving.
You know,
just in a
I
few
encourage
days.
all of the wives to go. Tanisha said it's a culture shock. She's a Niger wife. She said it had her shook. And it does. It has a lot of people. If you are not mentally prepared to go to Nigeria, you will be so overwhelmed.
And what do you mean by that? Why?
So when I say be mentally prepared, because here things work is structure, right?
It's structured, okay.
If this is the rule, then everybody's gonna follow the rule, right? In Nigeria, it's like, yeah, the rule might apply when we're ready for it to apply. You know, for instance, I'm helping one of the wives plan her wedding in Nigeria, and her chief bridesmaid is like, we need 60-inch round tables because I'm bringing the tablecloths. Can you guarantee? I'm like, I wish I could say I could guarantee that they're going to be 60-inch round tables. I could ask for a round table, but we could get there and it'll be a square table. You just got to learn to
square and around.
Or square and around. You could ask for red and your vendor show up with all blue. You just going to have a blue wedding. You just change it up. You have to be just ready to adapt to any situation.
What about the driving?
Oh, the
Sis
driving.
said I was holding on for dear life inside of a taxi.
Girl,
what's the difference from taxis there versus taxis here?
It ain't even about the taxi. You could be in the Uber. You could be in the Bolts.
What's the little KK thing?
You could be in the KK. You could be on the Okada. All of that.
It's just everybody just drives.
Just close your eyes, cause you'll be all right. It's an adventure the first time, but eventually you get used to it.
Now is there stoplights?
Oh, on the island, but I mean.
So how did everybody
See,
know?
listen, I'm a mainland girl. Look, I'm real local, according to Nigerian English. I'm real. I'm real local. So I live on the mainland.
Okay.
Right. So I'm I'm a Festac babe, right? Like, they took me to Nigeria. I went to Nigeria for the first time in 2009 as a missionary.
Wow.
So before I ever fell in love with Nigerian men, I was there serving the Nigerian people.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, one thing we have as Black Americans, I'm going to go to Africa and I'm going to change the world and I'm going to change them. Baby, Nigeria woke me up so quick, like, madam. I had people that didn't have anything offering me food. It humbled me so. It brought me down to my lowest.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
But then at the same time, I was living like a princess.
Really?
I had a driver, a cook. I mean, all the stuff I didn't have in America. I'm like, hold on.
Didn't want to leave.
They've been lying to me all these years.
So
Y'all, go home.
homegirl
Go home.
was
Go to
sitting-
Africa. Go to Nigeria.
You was sitting over there with a maid, a cook, an assistant,
and a driver.
and a driver.
Yeah, let's just think about that for a minute. Let that sink in.
And a lot of people Americans think that Africa as a whole is just so poor.
First of all, let's just start that a lot of African American people or American people in general think that Africa is a country.
Right.
Right? So
Instead of
there's
a
no
continent.
there's no distinction between the cultures of the different countries. And in Nigeria, you know, it is, man, let's talk about Lagos specifically.
Okay.
I tell people it's New York on steroids. Lagos doesn't
Really?
sleep. It's always going. So, like, you have to be ready to move and do. But it's also a place of respite, right?
Uh-huh.
It's also a place where you can go and relax and feel at home because you don't feel like, at least for me, when I landed, and I always tell, you know, for us as Black Americans, there's this feeling that you get when you land in Nigeria or when you land in Africa, like this sense of peace and like I'm at home.
I can't wait. I'm
And then you get off the plane and everybody looks like you. And everybody, you know, you can't really explain that. But it's a welcoming feeling. It's a peace that you get. And so that if you don't do anything else in the midst of all the chaos and all the heat, take that moment in and let that sink in when you walk through that airport because it's real hot in the airport.
I can't
sometimes.
wait. I just know I'm gonna cry. I just
Girl,
know.
don't be
I know.
extra.
I am.
Don't be extra.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's time. Let's go on a music break because we just been talking.
I know.
We got a
I
lot
know
of
y'all like
viewers,
hearing
though.
us.
So y'all don't go nowhere. We're going on a music break to regroup. I'm gonna see if Aladdin is somewhere in the vicinity, but right now it's the Naja Wife Takeover.
Take over.
We'll be
Share
right
the page.
back.
We'll be right back.
That we could bring glory to the Middle East story. We didn't talk anyhow, Middle East story. Me and you together, we could bring glory.
We go there, okay, like I did, okay. So you go there, my side, cause girl, you fine. We go there, okay, like I did, okay. You go there, my side, cause girl, you fine. No lie, see your body's a model, see your body's spectacular. Then you know you perfect for me. All the girls know what you mean to me, baby. I'm steady grinding all day to make sure say we don't break. Baby girl, I no lie, oh. My shit down, baby girl, I no lie. Because of you, I feel die. For your mother, no lie. My shit down, because of you, I feel die. For your mother, no lie. Baby girl, I feel die. We go there, okay, like I did, okay. You go there, my side, cause girl, you fine. We go there, okay, like I did, okay. You go there, my side, cause girl, you fine and you lie.
So we gon' be okay, can't bring them brighter days. And he want me by his side like we tying up a race. If you say that I'm the baddest, then I'm winning close case. No, they hate to see me smile, but I do it both face. You know this sweet pink cookie got a nice taste on that Henny, baby. Let me feel your ball fade. And you know this kinky, keep it coming like an ocean wave. Why I need you to keep me gifted like a damn holiday. Ayy, pushing that big body, challenging both lanes. Wanna be my better half, he say I deserve a ray. Painted it a pretty color to match his pretty face. And these haters try to copy, but it's just a warm page. And these haters didn't follow, but I left the trail blazing. Cause they can't do do it how I do it for you, baby. Fly me out the warm places, oasis. Got that rare kind of love and go crazy. It's a room beside you. Have you asking what I do? Can't you tell what I'm used to? Climb on top and I ride, got the water, got the juice. Black love with me, papples. It's a real one beside you.
We go there, like I did again. So you go there my side, cause girl you fine. We go there again, like I did again. You go there my side, cause girl you fine. No lie, make it come body. Me and you make it come body.
And we are back, still trending. We got the Naija Wives takeover. I
Taking
guess
over.
Baby, Aladdin done partied too much. He sleep. Because if he not here,
He's like,
he
where you
is
at, bruh?
in sleep. So that's okay. That's why he got us today, taking over for the 99, the 2000, and the 3000 Naija Wives Inc. So we talked about the good side, the positives, the similarities, and I came to the conclusion we are black. No matter what country, island, continent, black folks is going to be black folks. And I think that's so funny. But we want to go in more serious, like, because there has been a lot of negative stereotypes from both ends. Mm-hmm. And it's because I believe strongly it's due to Western media, like how they portray Africa as a whole and then how they portray African Americans to other countries. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get into a little bit about that. And again, if you want to call in and say anything, thank y'all for the support. Shout out to my Naija Wives and everybody who is watching. And if you want to drop a comment. We can see them on the side. We'll read them. But if you want to call in, our studio line is 817-717-5685. Again, that's 817-717-5685. So I'm going to jump to Mrs. Okpor. Let's talk about the negative stereotypes. So jump it off for me.
Okay, so we all grew up hearing, especially by community, mm-hmm. What about to be ready about Africa, right? Like right. To be mindful when you see somebody from Africa or meet somebody from Africa, right? Mm-hmm. So what are some of the stereotypes that we heard growing up? African men are controlling. I think that's the one that we hear a lot.
African men are controlling.
All African people are cheaters, right? All
scammers.
African people are scammers, and because half of them don't know where. If we talk specifically about Nigeria, where Nigeria is on the map.
Right, exactly.
They can identify Africa because they see an African necklace or they see Africa, flag or something, mm-hmm. right? Like we always see, the Ghanaian flag. But a lot of people don't even know that it's the Ghanaian flag that they're representing.
Exactly.
When they speak about Africa, right? Well, so we like to show off the Afrocentric mm-hmm. side of it. But when it comes to the actual people and the actual cultures of Africa and of Nigeria specifically, we don't want to have nothing to do with it. No.
Yeah.
That's not us,
mm-hmm.
right? We not them and they not us.
Right.
And, on the other side, you have, the Nigerians who believe like that Black Americans are uncultured and as we say, ghetto, uncouth, mm-hmm. as, the old people would say.
All single parent households, uneducated,
just, bottom of the barrel kind of people. And, some of the other stereotypes we hear is that, all Africans have 15 jobs and,
and 15
wives. And they can marry as many wives as they want, and they live in huts and they're poor in their country, because we grew up during the time when we would see on TV, when we saw Africa, we saw, the kids with the swollen bellies and, 10 cents a day will help feed the hungry children in Somalia. Right? Like we grew up mm-hmm. with all of these negative stereotypes. And then it's like, oh, don't go to Africa because you'll get kidnapped. Or don't go to Africa because, they'll treat you bad. Or don't go to Africa, they'll steal all your money. Mm-hmm. And all of these things, right? And then, we get to interact with the Nigerian culture and the Nigerian people here. And what we fail to realize is that most of the Nigerian people we see here come from the upper middle class of Nigeria. And so they're well educated.
The maids and the drivers and the assistants.
But when you get to Nigeria and you see that, there's really in my opinion, there's not really a middle class in Nigeria. You either poor or you rich.
Oh, really?
And so, what we take advantage of and what we think is, man, okay, you eating noodles, so, and it's hood. We gonna make it work. You gonna eat some syrup sandwiches, and you make it work. There's the same thing in Nigeria.
It's classes.
Right. It's classes of people. The same way we have inadvert classism in the Black American culture, it's very, it's very overt in the Nigerian culture.
Okay.
And so they watch TV, right? The same way we watch TV. And the same way we were seeing the swollen bellies and stomach, they watching Boys in the Hood and Set It Off and all of these all these movies that portray Black Americans as, the bottom of the barrel. They're not seeing the doctors and the lawyers and
the HBCU
culture. They're not seeing Greek life. They're not getting to see, the two-parent household shown.
That we both grew up in.
My parents been married forever.
35 years, my parents. How many
I think I could be wrong. It's like 40-something, 42 or 43 years. So, like, they get married young and stay married. So we came into it, you come into marriage going, okay, I saw how my mom and daddy do it, right? Yep. They made it last. They made it work. We live in a culture now where we don't live in that same kind of world where we going to put up with anything and stay there forever just because we married and we don't want to get divorced. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But you got to overcome the negative stereotypes to even get to that point.
That's right.
Right? So, we grew up, them Africans, right? My mind always goes back to Boys in the Hood when he was like, you an African booty scratcher.
Man, and I'm like, where did that even
That
come
was like
from?
The worst insult when we were kids, for somebody to call you an African booty scratcher.
And when my thing is, because a lot of my Nigerian friends that I meet today, they said that they were called that as a kid in America. And I'm like, we used to call it, well, I didn't call because I was one of the darker. So if you were darker, people called me African booty scratcher.
Right.
Yeah, we called each other that. And I'm like, where did that come from?
I don't know. Like, it's so... It comes from the documentaries.
Okay. Come on, producer.
The producer in the back going, educate us. Because, but the thing is, like, it's so ingrained, in Niger Wives, this quarter we're talking about, our core beliefs, right?
Yes.
And this month we've been talking specifically about a cultural appreciation and cultural appropriation, right? And how we often appropriate the culture when we think we're appreciating the culture. Yes. And so it's important for us to understand our core beliefs and what's making us feel like we gotta do, we gotta wear the big hair ties and all of that. And not so much in it being your brand, in it being your you actually embracing the culture. But I'm talking about the sister that ain't never going to Africa, ain't nothing. But she got her fist in the air. She got her hair tied up. She got on her I Love Africa necklace. But
has nothing to do with actual.
She doesn't know anything about the culture. She doesn't know anything about the people. She just know they stole us from that land, and we here in America now. We got to stand up for our rights and our people. And I'm like, hold on, sis.
Yeah.
Calm down. Because those same theory now doing all of that and be like, oh, I would never marry no African. Oh no.
Yes.
No. It's like, one of the things we find is like one of the reasons a lot of the wives come to Niger Wives is because as soon as they get in a relationship,
come on.
Oh, now you acting. Everybody start acting funny according to our culture, right? You acting funny because now you married to this African girl. I'm just looking out for your best interest. You need to leave him alone because he's scamming you. He just want a green card or he just want to use you for your money and all of this. And I'm like, sis, you broke. You've been on food stamp for 15 years.
Girl,
you live in the projects. What is he using?
Dudes I got scammed by who said they was a person who they wasn't.
Right,
so
but she wasn't looking out for my best interest then, right? Yeah. And a lot of them, their families turn away from them. Yeah. It's like, well, you can marry that African, but don't bring him over here. Yeah. We don't want to have nothing to do with you, right? So, just where do you go from there? Exactly. Right? You find yourself in this place alone because now anytime you have a disagreement or argument that normal couples have, everybody going, I told you not to marry the African anyway. I told you he was scamming you. And you can forgive him, but they will never forgive him, right? So it all comes down to like, what are your core beliefs, right? Like, and how do you change those core beliefs that has you thinking that Because you missing out, sis. I'm telling you right now, if you one of them people, I don't want to marry them Africans. And it's beautiful. Because one thing about African men is they take care of their women. They take care of their women.
That's right. And let me interject something right there, because I always see a lot of these posts about, I think men saying, what are you here for if you need to be going 50-50 on everything. I said, in our culture that we married into, baby, we don't pay bills. We don't. If we pay what we want to. But my husband, it's an insult for the wife to pay some rent. You know what I'm saying? They taking care of the rent. They taking care of the car notes. I paid, I think, phone bill and insurance. But it's normal in the Nigerian culture for the man to take care of everything, and the wife, even if she got a good job.
And let's just talk about how
anything she wants to.
Let's talk about how when he gets here at first, he's not able to do that. Right? Because there's an adjustment. There's an adjustment. And, I always talk to the wives about being patient with having to do your part.
Yes. And in the beginning.
Right? Because, a lot of people that are outside of our little world of knowing that, there's a process to coming to America. Right? And for some that have even been here...
I'm gonna read the comments because they fool in the comment section, but
but to understand that part as well. So he has a desire to do that, and he might not be able to, and your family just see it as, oh, he lazy.
Yes.
Right. So we gonna read some of these comments and see what y'all got to say.
Yeah. So okay. So John Ray Atkins, LOL. It's good to be culturally stereotyped, but it is all Americans that embrace that. And then Sabrina said, I pulled away from a lot of my friends because of that. And I had to, too. In the beginning, they was all against me for my longtime friends. And that's how I ended up looking. It was like I felt so alone in my little world. I ended up Googling African wives. I'm like, it has to be a group, something, out the support system, something. And I found her on Instagram, reached out to her, and we stayed on the phone for 3 hours the first day, and we've been inseparable since.
Ever since.
And it's been a support system. And then Jari Atkins say, I have seen an American lady that visited Nigeria with her hubby. Just seeing what her mother-in-law wore, she freaked out, and the woman was a little bit embarrassed.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. And he said, yeah, you got that right. We take care of our women. And that's normal. Like, and even, and you're saying, because a lot of us, Nigel wives, my husband was already here, but a lot of us go and marry our man and bring them back, so we will have to carry it in the beginning, because according to immigration, there is a grace period where he cannot work. Legally he can't work. But for the ones who are already here, who are already established, and then when the men who come and get established, it's not taboo for them to pay all the bills, and then we just pay what we want to, unless it's absolutely necessary. But it's not taboo for the men to take care of everything.
But one thing I love about Nigerian culture as well, it's not that you just the stereotype we hear, right? He just want to keep her at home barefoot and pregnant, right? Her job, take care of the house, do all this. No. Every successful Nigerian woman I saw had her own business.
Yeah, exactly.
All the women who raised me in Nigeria, and I would say raised me because I have many mommies, right? And but one thing I noticed is that they all had their own business going, and they are killing it. Like, right? Sis got her pocketbook and it's full.
And just to spend how she wants.
Right. So, it's like, it's like almost like an honor for them to say, oh, my wife's shop. Go by my wife's shop. Go and visit my wife. Stop by and see her. Buy something from my wife. And they promote and support their wives in business, right? They support us when we want to do things and grow.
That's true.
And they're there for us.
That's true. Baby Jare is on it today. He said, Nigeria here, it's always known that the man provides, no matter how independent the wife is. But there in America, I don't think a Nigerian man can meet that expectation because it's expensive and the man might not even have a good job. And I understand that. And I think, too, like the reason why I was so able to, in both of us, because we had, our parents were married, and my daddy was a provider. Like, that's how I grew up. So it was easy for me to,
I think we were in like middle school or high school when my mom worked for just a few years.
Yes.
But my dad,
housewife all the way
listen,
through
you
high
want something,
school.
she automatically gonna tell you, go ask your daddy, right? Like, it was her thing. But my mom is still very well taken care of.
Yes.
Like, I grew up with that expectation.
That's
like,
right.
Your husband is supposed to take care of you. He's supposed to provide. But at the same time, I knew my mama always had a stash,
That's
right?
right.
She always told me you got to have
And
mattress
hold it
money
down.
and you got to have mad money,
That's
right?
right.
Your mattress money is the money that you keep to the side so that if he ever get into a predicament, you can step in and provide for the family and hold him up until he can get back to where he needs to be, right? Because that's your job as to help me. And then you got to have that mad money, right? So like when you get mad, like you can have your retail therapy, right? So that's your mad money.
Oh, goodness.
Right?
Y'all, this has been
It's good.
an awesome show. We are about to go on break real quick before we round up and get on out of here. I wish we had more time, but baby, Aladdin didn't never show up. I'm going to call him and clown him real bad when we get out. He's still asleep. But let's go on music break.
All right,
we'll be right back.
Wake up on good times, missing the good times. Remember the good times. Wake up on good times, missing the good times. Remember the good times. Good times make me miss you every day. Good times what we had back then. Thinking about you with a cold yeah. Feeling so lost in a cold weather. Now you there on my mind like a this. I don't hide you but I love like a this. Many men came to my place. Many men punch in my face. Many men won't be with you. Many men hate me. Many men put me for rest. Wake up on good times.
All right, we are back for not the last time, but for the last time today on this show. And I'm going to give the floor back to Mrs. Oakport with Nigel Wives Inc. because I know there are a lot of Nigel wives who
Girl,
are
call me
wondering,
Christina. You so form, Mrs. Oakport. Call me Christina.
Christina.
I am who I
How
am.
do we join Nigel Wife Inc? So I'm
Right.
going to give the floor back to her to explain how to join the organization and just go into a little bit of that.
So, like I said in the beginning, Nigel Wives is an exclusive organization. And listen, that membership care team vets very thoroughly. And we are specifically for American women who are engaged to be married or married, not the girlfriend. We love you, sis. We know. Stick with it. As soon as he say, will you marry me? Then come over to Nigel Wives. So you can find us on Facebook. We have a private Facebook group. We also have a forward-facing page if you are a girlfriend and you just want to, show support. Look, my membership care person came on and said, yes, Latanya is on it. She is on it. You will be fully vetted. Please make sure you answer the questions when you ask to join the group. We are a membership organization, so there are membership dues that our members pay every year, but you get so many resources. It's just not a Facebook group for you to come and join.
Different resources. We have our retreats.
We have our annual retreat, which is coming up in Houston the last weekend in October. You do not have to be a member of the organization to come. You just have to be a Nigel wife. You don't have to be a dues paying member, but you do have to be a Nigel wife to participate in the annual retreat in October. But if you just want to join and come in and see what we're all about, we let you join the group before you ever pay your dues.
That's right.
And
to check it out
and see the relationships that you build will be long lasting.
Like this one, I just love her. And
we're leaving here and we're going to see a Nigel wife as soon as we leave here, and we support each other. We support each other's businesses. Like I said, we're all for it. But we would love for you to join us. You can find us on Facebook, and if you want to just learn more about the organization, our website is www.nigelwives.us because we are American. .us. Come and check us out. See what we're about. If you have questions, don't hesitate to contact us, reach out. The phone number on our Facebook page comes directly to me, so you can reach me in the organization. And I'm an open book. I believe in being transparent.
It is truly a sisterhood.
It really is. We say Nigel wife for life. We mean it. Whether let me say this, because there are some former Nigel wives, right? They were married to Nigerians and they went through a divorce. And if you find yourself in that situation where you're divorced or you're going through a divorce, and you were married to a Nigerian man, please reach out to me, reach out to the organization, because we have support for our wives that are transitioning back to singlehood, to singleness. And we want to make sure that you have that full support system of wives that understand what you are transitioning through. So with that being said, I can't wait to talk to some of y'all. I can't wait to greet all of our new members that come in. And I hope they invite me to come back and get to take over again. Member, she is.
I'm a board member of Naija Wives Inc. So I can answer questions too. So if you are on my friends list, because like I said, with Naija Wife Kitchen, I do have a lot of ladies that come to me seeking refuge. Like, there should be a support group. Well, I'm part of the support group. So if you're on my friends list and you have questions, feel free to message me as well, and I'll direct you to the group, answer the questions, and you in that thing. So,
whether you're here, we have wives all over the world. If you're here, if you're in Nigeria, we have wives that live in Nigeria,
we sure do.
On a full-time basis. As like, not they don't come and go like me, but they live there on a full-time basis. And so whether you're there and you need a support system, whether you're here or anywhere else, Naija Wives, it's Naija Wife for life. We're here with you.
We're over 400 deep.
Yeah, we're over 400 deep now, and we hope to grow.
And if you're looking to sponsor us, we have resources. Like, we just added a resource for someone who is really prompt and sufficient on getting visas for us. He did my visa to get over there. I was having trouble. So we have resources like that, even when it's coming to immigration, all kinds of resources. Bringing our husbands back over, immigration support. We have if you're traveling and you don't know, what's going. We have a traveling messenger group we keep up with each other. If we know who's there, who's on ground. Exactly. If something is going on, because we had some wives stuck with COVID. We helped to get them back.
Listen, one thing I learned about Nigeria is you have to have a network, and we would love to be a part of your network and help you build your network. And if you are Nigerian, we love your continued support. And visit the website and reach out. We are looking for sponsors for our annual gala that is in October as well. So definitely reach out. We want to hear from you. We love the Nigerian community, and we thank you for loving us back. And we want to thank everybody, and I want to thank Aladdin and Tani for having me on this show today. It has been fun, and
and shout out to our
Let's
producer.
pack. We gotta go.
Yeah, shout out to our producer Casey in the building with Distinct Radio. We are about to get out of here. It is 12 o'clock officially, so y'all make sure y'all tune in for the next show. We love y'all. We are out.
Bye.
All the blessing where they give me, I no feature campaign. I know the love where you they show me, baby. I no feature campaign. I'ma get hoya la cola. I'ma get hoya la cola. I'ma get hoya la cola. I'ma get hoya la kopangila. I'ma get hoya la. Safu solo shalaye, felle